revealed a bone-chilling entity levitating.
Have you guys ever been so scared that you pee your pants? Okay, me either. But apparently, these videos are so scary, they will make you pee your pants. So let's find out.
You brave enough to make it through today's compilation?
Okay, we can already see, first of all, that this is not.
You're about to see encounters with inhuman entities, terrifying ghosts, and shadowy figures.
Alright. Get the bedpan ready.
These scary videos will make you piss your pants.
น้องสาวให้พี่ไปส่งไหม
In Bandung, Indonesia, two friends were riding late at night for fun when they noticed a woman in the distance. They were curious about why she was alone in the middle of nowhere and slowed down, but that was a mistake. Turns out, she was far from human. Her skin looked grotesque, and her lips were dark. Her eyes were pure white as she stared straight at them, a sight so terrifying it made them scream and speed away as fast as they could. Levitating horror. In 2018, a man's friends dared him to explore an abandoned house in Bandung, Indonesia. It had been empty for more than a decade, and no one wanted to rent or buy it. While exploring, he discovered why. His flashlight revealed a bone-chilling entity levitating 2 feet above the ground. As he...
Levitating? What are you talking about? Hold on, let's back it up. Let's press play. First of all.
Flashlight revealed a bone-chilling entity levitating.
That's sitting on a wall.
2 feet above the ground. As he moved the light upward, he came face to face with a horrifying face. Its head was bent backward at an impossible angle. The man thought it was over for him, but he managed to escape, and the entity didn't follow. Night visitor. For 5 nights straight, a man in Newark, Delaware kept seeing the same entity outside his home. It looked like a girl with a ghostly white face and a white dress. What scared him most was that no one of that age lived in his neighborhood. He finally decided to record her, but things got worse. The entity suddenly began running toward him at an unnatural speed and came face to face with him. He stopped recording to run back inside and...
Wait.
And came face to face with him. He stopped.
Look at the face. That's totally a mask. Alright. You guys scared? Okay, good.
Stopped recording to run back inside and hasn't shared any updates since. Possessed woman. After hearing loud screams from a neighbor's home late at night, a man went to investigate. Fearing the residents were in trouble, he broke inside. The house was completely dark as he followed the screams and came across this horrifying sight. A woman was levitating, her hands gripping the ceiling. Something inhuman had clearly taken control of her. Suddenly, she charged toward him while screaming. The man barely managed to escape, and he feared something terrible must have happened to the people.
First of all, I can't really tell. Like, how is this person hanging onto the ceiling? This one might be real. I'm scared.
Who live there. Crawling horror. You're about to watch an exploration go very wrong. A man was exploring a house in Oakville, Canada that had been abandoned for 10 years. But a few moments later, this terrifying entity with long hair appeared.
First of all, if you see that coming through the window, why are you still standing there? Because I would be gone. Totally gone.
At the window, it began crawling towards him while shrieking, and the sight immediately sent him running far away from him. He thought it could be one of the previous residents, turned into something truly evil and unnatural. The fact that he uploaded this video is the only proof that he escaped. Dark ritual. A guy named Shishant Roy from Kolkata, India was exploring an old house and came across this dark ritual. Someone in a dark cloak seemed to be performing dark magic on the man beside the pentagram. Suddenly, the cloaked sorcerer moved toward the man, and Shishant ran out of there. But the next night, Shishant found this creepy woman outside his home with ritualistic objects. It was the same sorcerer without the cloak. She looked up at him, revealing a gray, terrifying face. Shishant realized the sorcerer had followed him, and he might be the next prey. However, he hasn't shared what happened next. Ghost in Park? This video is a creepy reminder why going out at night is never a good idea. A man had gone to a park and spotted a female ghost. She wore white clothes, just like the ones La Llorona is believed to wear. Her face was ghostly pale, and to his horror, she started running straight towards him. Since such ghosts are known to be dangerous and can even make people vanish without a trace, he ran away before she could reach him. Terrifying night visitor. In Springfield, Illinois, a man was haunted by the same demonic entity every night, and once you see it, you'll be haunted too. This time, he managed to capture it on camera to prove he wasn't just schizophrenic. A tall, dark figure appeared in the doorway, its eyes glowing bright white as it stared at him. After a few seconds, it vanished. The entity never entered the room, but the man fears what would happen if one
Alright, I'm scared.
day it did. Forest Pokong. Last year, an explorer heard that a terrifying entity haunted a hotel near the Gunung Loyser Forest, Indonesia. To see if it was true, he brought a sack of meat as bait, and the entity took the bait! A Pokong appeared in the distance, hovering just above the ground and moving.
Wait, what is a Pokong? What is that? If you know, let me know in the comments below.
Right toward him. When it got too close, he ran back inside, realizing how dangerous this game was, since Pokong are souls trapped in shrouds and can be extremely dangerous. After that, he left the forest the next morning.
I don't blame him.
Haunted neighborhood. In October 2021, a man in Kathmandu, Nepal moved to an old neighborhood where houses were unbelievably cheap and soon discovered why. 2 days after moving in, he began hearing strange noises and found this small shadow banging on the door. It seemed like someone was out there, but when he opened the door, the figure had vanished mysteriously. Since no human could move that fast, he realized it had to be a ghost. Terrified, he ended his contract and decided to move out of the neighborhood immediately.
Good job.
Horrifying face.
Yes.
This video shows a man with fear in his eyes, and soon you will see why. Right behind him, there was a terrifying face staring at him. Its features looked human, but something about them was grotesque and horrifying. While recording, the man stayed as calm and still as possible. When facing a demonic entity like this, panicking can end you in dangerous situations.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Since these entities are known to feed on fear, which is why he survived. Would you have been able to stay calm if you were in his place? Shadow figure. On the 7th of May last year, a man in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia was walking home late at night when he passed a local 99 Speed Mart, and to his horror, he saw a tall, dark figure in the distance. It looked like a shadowy entity standing completely still, and it seemed to be staring right at him. He didn't get any closer to confirm his suspicions, and hoped—
Right, because you could see where that thing is staring. Behind the cloak.
That whatever it was would not follow him home. Terrifying entity. After a content creator lost his way in a village, he found himself surrounded only by abandoned homes and debris. He began looking for a place to stay the night, not knowing something inhuman was already inside. Did you see it? His camera caught a creepy entity through a window, its face dark and terrifying. He still walked toward the building, unaware, until he came face to face with it. Realizing he was in a very dangerous place, he ran back toward his jeep with his heart racing. Dark magic gone wrong. The entity you're about to see was once human, but years of dark rituals transformed her into something else. A team of paranormal investigators went to the abandoned neighborhood where she used to live and found her crawling on a roof. Her skin had turned dark gray, and she kept shrieking at them as they tried to approach her. They wanted to see if any human part of her still remained, but since there was nothing left to save, they eventually left her alone.
It's probably a good
Not
idea.
human. You're about to see one of the most frightening encounters ever. In Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, a ghost hunter was exploring an abandoned hospital that was shut down after medical malpractice. In one of the wards, he saw someone in a white hospital gown with dark hair. Then it bent its head at an unnatural angle to look at him, and he realized it wasn't human, or at least not anymore. Its face was pale, and its mouth was gaping wide open. The man ran out because despite being a ghost hunter, this encounter was too much. Forest Screecher. While a hiker was camping in the Monongahela National Forest, West Virginia, he heard loud screeching sounds at night. They didn't belong to any human or known animal. Despite being terrified, he went to investigate. The sounds led him to a bizarre entity. It was pale and partially hidden behind the trees. The hiker didn't want to discover what kind of monstrosity it was and ran far away, because those sounds were clearly predatory.
Because what is that?
Floating entity. In March 2017, a man saw the most bone-chilling entity right outside his home. After hearing strange noises, he looked outside and saw a white form above his truck. Its movements were completely unnatural, because it kept floating like it weighed nothing. He tried to stay hidden behind the curtain, but the entity still noticed him. It stared with terrifying glowing eyes and floated right toward him. He thought it was over for him, but to his relief, the entity could not enter the house and left him alone.
But I mean, how can you fake this one? I think it's real, you guys. Let me know.
Neighborhood entity. In March 2022, a man had just moved into an old neighborhood in Micanopy, Florida for the cheap housing, but only 2 days later, he began hearing strange sounds outside. When he stepped onto his terrace to check, he spotted this bone-chilling entity right outside his house. Did you see it? The entity had dark hair and pale skin, and it was staring at him with bright, glowing red eyes. Even that brief glimpse terrified him so much that he decided to move out as soon as possible. Ghost Girl. On the 10th of September, 2020, at around midnight in Salem, Massachusetts, a CCTV recorded this girl in a cemetery. Now, you might wonder why a girl would be there so late.
Right.
Keep watching to find out. She walked toward the gate as if she wasn't completely solid. No human could move like that. After a few seconds, she vanished in a cloud of white smoke, like a ghost. It could be possible she was a spirit who couldn't move to the afterlife. But, as always, you decide. Shadow figures. In Portland, Oregon, a man went out for a stroll at night and regretted it deeply. As he passed a building, he noticed these 3 creepy shadows on the wall. But to his horror, there was no one standing there. Then the building's light began flashing mysteriously, and the shadows seemed to vanish too.
What?
Believing that building might be haunted, he quickly went back to his apartment and couldn't sleep that entire night.
I don't blame him.
Terrifying visitor.
Ma'am, store's closed, alright? Seriously, you're gonna bruise yourself doing that.
This CCTV footage from a store in Savannah, Georgia, shows a woman outside the door. The store was closed, and when she couldn't get inside, her face suddenly turned completely inhuman. Her mouth gaped open like a dark abyss, and her eyes began glowing brightly. Even her neck began moving in strange, jerky ways. This entity was clearly furious that it couldn't get in the store to find her prey. When the shop owner reviewed the footage the next day, he was lucky he hadn't been there to witness this.
Okay, nope, what the hell's wrong with your eyes? Oh my god, stop! Oh my god, stop!
Parking lot terror. In Phoenix, Arizona, a man was walking to the parking lot to go to work, but someone was already inside his car. From the front seat, a dark, demonic face stared at him. Its pure white eyes were fixed on him, and it grinned widely, as if happy to have found prey. The man remembered locking his car doors when he returned from work the night before. So if this entity could pass through doors, it could do far worse things too. Terrified, he didn't go to work that day.
They didn't call the cops?
Terrifying shadows. This home had been empty and locked for 5 years, but one night, a man living across saw something terrifying. From his balcony, he noticed these mysterious shadows moving on the wall, like someone was swinging back and forth. There were neither swings nor people there. He was so terrified because if the house was empty, then what was causing those shadows? That even after the shadows vanished, fear kept him awake all night. Grotesque entity. This TikTok user was completely unaware of the horror that was about to creep up behind him. Wait for it. A terrifying figure slowly emerged from the shadows. The closer it got, the more disturbing it looked. Its face was grotesque and fleshy, with no clear features at all. When the man finally noticed it, fear overwhelmed him, and he ran because it had been way too close for comfort. Terrifying entity. Last year, a man in Ocracoke, North Carolina, heard rumors about an area in the village so old and haunted that no one dared to go there. One day, he went to investigate the abandoned houses, and his camera captured something terrifying. Look closely. There was a disturbing entity in one of the windows. It looked dark with a creepy, distorted face staring right at him. This was clearly why everyone stayed away. The man was lucky he only noticed it while replaying the footage after he had already left the place safely.
Oh my God.
Ghost train.
Well, that ain't good.
A man got lost in Bachului Forest and to his surprise, he came across a train track. He thought it might help him find his way out. But it was no ordinary train. It was moving without a driver or any visible engine. The sight already chilled his bones, but then his camera caught something way creepier. As the train passed, a creepy pale figure could be seen behind it with its head sticking out. He had no idea what it could be, but I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
Don't know who's running that, but I mean, yeah, okay.
Garage intruder. A man went to his garage in the middle of the night after hearing strange sounds. He thought someone had broken in and went to check, but soon realized the culprit wasn't human at all. He noticed movement in the tree and stepped closer, only to see a gray, inhuman face staring back at him. Whatever it was had been trying to hide from him. The terrifying sight made him run back into the house, and when he checked the area the next morning, the entity was gone. Ceiling entity. A woman kept hearing footsteps in her ceiling and finally decided to film her attic. And what she found there was a nightmare. Someone was staring down at her. She called the police for help, but they couldn't find anyone up there. They said it must have been an intruder who left before they could arrive. But the homeowner swore it hadn't looked human at all. So, do you think it was a supernatural entity? Shadow Man.
Yes.
You see that?
A man in Covington, Kentucky got the fright of his life when he looked outside his house. There was a person's shadow moving on the snow, but he could not see anyone there to cast it. And it didn't look like a trick of light either. He realized he was looking at a shadow man. Since encountering such entities can have bad consequences, such as sleep paralysis, he didn't dare step outside, even hours after the shadow had disappeared.
It looked
I don't blame him.
a shadow.
Watchful eye.
Yee.
Yeah, that's
A man was
creepy.
exploring an old building that had been abandoned for years after a natural event left it in ruins. But soon, he had a terrifying encounter. He noticed a pale face staring at him with one wide eye through the gap in the doorframe. He slowly walked closer to see who it was, but there was no one. That's when he realized what he had seen might have been a ghost, and those who were lost during the event were still stuck there, haunting the place.
All right, y'all. I don't know, but it's probably time to go to the toilet. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.